Hey, everyone, and welcome to Be the Connection podcast, where we dive into powerful stories of community, mentorship, and success. I'm your host, B, and I'm truly grateful to share this space with you. Whether you're just getting started or deep in your journey, you're not alone. My mission is to bring you inspiring conversations, real insights, and the kind of value that helps you grow personally and professionally. So grab a seat, settle in, and let's get connected. Here I've got the famous George. Look at that smile. Man, he came prepared today, ready to sing something. Let's hear it.
Maybe I need a
Ma-
couple drinks. I'll be at
oh,
karaoke, I
hold
think.
on.
My go-to is Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Good
Oh
vibrations.
my goodness. So
Yes,
tell
yes.
me, what you got going on? I mean, you're doing a lot right now. You're doing a lot of helpful things, and you're the go-giver. You're like the popular like kid in high school, the kid that kind of just sits in the back and really chill, relaxed kid, but yet he's like the popular one and everyone knows him.
I
That's
think that,
you.
that's basically me back then. Like in the Houston area, for some reason, like I think I shared with you when I was with JJ, it's always getting along with like, either the biggest guy in the group to where I never had to worry about fighting because either I made that guy laugh or something like that, or just basically build that relationship where if anybody had a problem with George, they had a problem with them. And so that particular quote unquote gangster, he'd go to jail. And so I'd be walking the girl to her house basically. And kind of like, man, I don't know why you got me walking you because I'm little, but at least I know if something happens, I can at least grab onto his leg and scream and you can make it home. But yeah, being the class clown and being able, aside from being in the classroom, of sitting next to me, all right, George, sit next to JJ. Next day, George, sit next to Raul. George, just sit outside because I was like being able to get along with damn near anybody,
Yeah.
and yeah, just having that, I guess, the energy that I still have today, but also knowing what we're doing now, it can be very difficult being able to be vulnerable enough to say when you need help, and so that is something I've been slowly learning, and with the kind of levels that I am now, knowing that there are people below me that I want to help out as well, but also understanding that I have to help myself. So I remember when you asked me that question, George, you always help other people. What do you need help with? Like, uh, I do need help with this, but I get that passion of wanting to help others and knowing that as I get stronger with my faith in God, know that then at the end of the day He does provide, but also to know my limits too. To where I want to help so many people, but sometimes it is hard to limit yourself to that bandwidth.
Or we can actively help others, we also have to learn how to help ourselves, right? And making sure that we're
Yes.
the ones who are taking care of ourselves. It's like that mask in the airplane. We put it on ourselves before we put it on our kids. It's something that we need to make sure in order for other people to survive, we got to make sure we survive.
True, true.
Absolutely. Well, I know you've done amazing things in the real estate game now. So tell me what got you into it, and what were you doing before? What was the decision you made that made you jump into it?
Great question. Before aside from the 7 years in the post office, I was in the army for about 8 years as a diesel mechanic and kind of seeing the world and same thing like you say, being that class clown, being that go-to person where I went to a hip hop club on Friday, but then I went to the country club on Saturday and went to church on Sunday to where but it was like different type of people. And so basically being that melting pot of doing that, but enjoying the time, the 8 years of getting to know different cultures and being able to be in Germany precise and seeing how people live their life or in Korea, being able to understand different cultures is a beautiful thing. But yeah, before real estate, the last step was the post office, where I love coming in there and trying to brighten people's day, and then me putting up my own mail, organizing it, and going out and about and delivering that mail. So a lot of it was junk mail, but there were those people that maybe they're in their 60s, 70s, they're retired, and I may be the highlight of their day. Like,
Yeah.
hey, Mr. Byron, how are things going? And then, at back then when I was more fit, 'cause I kinda gained some weight, but back when I used to fast a lot more, those 30 minutes I would spend with a particular person named Mr. Byron, and we just talk about life, and we talk about stocks, and that's when I kinda mess with stocks a little bit, but obviously, like everybody says in real estate, YouTube University, I was doing that with stocks to where whatever that one guy said to put it in, I would put it in it. And like, oh crap, I lost all that money, but because I had a job, it still hurt, but it kind of taught me like, wow, there's another way to make money. I don't have to utilize my body for these, 40 years that I see a lot of people doing in the post office. So
That's a huge perspective. You're seeing the difference. You're like, do I want to be like that? Do I want to end up like that? What do I want to be? How do I want to end up in when I'm that age? Yeah,
true.
that's huge. That's eye opening. Wow.
To where it was like, yeah, this is good money, these are good benefits, this and all this, but does money really define things? There's more to life than money. Obviously, it helps, keeps the lights on, and all this stuff, but it might set up for something different. Maybe that was God telling me, no, George, you're meant for more. Going back to what you
Hmm.
said, be like, yeah, it seems like everybody you were a class clown, you were the popular kid, and yeah, this kind of being that middle person or being that connector, which is one of the avatars, which I finally enjoy kind of owning in on it. But then going back to kind of utilizing like, how are you doing? How can I help you? But then the last one was always hard. Do you mind if I get paid? But knowing that you have to have the confidence to say that, do you mind if I get paid? Like, well, I know my worth, but before I didn't have it. And so it was a beautiful thing of, taking the leap of faith, of leaving the post office, getting closer to God, but also knowing, he basically is leading me this way. And real estate just happened to be the the next step where I'm at now.
Yeah, assertiveness, right? And just being actually
Yeah.
assertive with yourself and comfortable and saying, hey, do you mind if I get this? Like, because, I do bring value. I'm bringing you this person whom you need for this deal. And I want to make sure that we
Right.
all get a win win. And so just being able to have that confidence, like you said, and present that to someone is just learning the way to say it that will help make you just more comfortable with it, right? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And so you've obviously, I mean, you've started investing, you've started, making and putting yourself in places that are huge roles in people's deals. I mean, really,
Yes.
it is, I mean, you're connecting people who have literally lives have changed because of you being able to connect those people together. So, what kind of strategies do you look at or do you do when doing these connections?
Good question, B. Obviously, like I said, I think we had previous conversation with other people of being able to say, I guess, with a little bit of a cockiness, but also knowing that I've been able to close a lot of deals from A to Z, just not on a consistent basis. But why is that? Because I'm doing it by myself, or because I know a little bit of everything. It is being able to say, well, if I hire B, I don't have to do much paperwork, or maybe I can do more deals at one time as a consistent basis. So it kind of goes back to what we're talking about of being able to secure, I guess, like the kids say, my bag first. But I realized a lot of my deals had came from JVing. So the way I serve myself is having more comfortability in the front end of being, the acquisitions of like, really analyzing, is the seller really motivated? And what does a motivated seller, what is the definition of it? And being able to have those conversations with these newer wholesalers that come in, or somebody even seasoned, and then being able to connect the dots of, I know somebody that may buy this, be just curious, can we JV on this? And like, all right, yeah, Georgie, and then being able to add value and then kind of connecting the dots in there, but also trying to create my own system as well. Of like, we're going back to kind of utilizing the stuff I have in my head, but actually taking it out and putting it in SOPs, setting up KPIs, which is something I suck at. And so it is thanks to the Squad Up Summit and seeing you on JJ's thing the other day, meeting my potential integrator that I think I've been missing, my Cagney to my Lacey, or my Sunny to my Cher, or my Pace to my Cody. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Awesome. That's so good. So let me ask. So what's helped guide you on this journey? What's helped keep you so motivated? Because you do have to have a level of focus, not being able to stray away. What is it that has helped you?
Honestly, I would say, first of all, faith of realizing, there have been some financial difficulties that I have in the background, but having that persistence of still smiling, understanding that crap's happening in the background, but I have to keep the positivity in this, and also realize, the more people I help, the more likely that that situation is going to help out my situation. But it is going back to what you're saying, like understanding it's just what is the outcome of this, and how is it gonna work outcome for me? What's the outcome for me, basically? But it is understanding what I'm really good at, and it is having those conversations. But adding that last piece, like you're saying, being able to understand what my value is in the equation.
Yes, 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 yes. And has there been any important people that's helped guide you to where it is that you are?
Oh man, lots of people. JJ, one of the first ones that like say when I first started and being a part of another mentorship, being able to not have no sales experience at all. I hated sales. And so, but real estate is all people, I want to be there. I was told on the whole, get the property locked up at this price, sell it to somebody at this price, and then in the middle, you get to get your price out. Oh man, that's easy. And so when I first started in the other mentorship, I was like, okay, let me make. I think I got wholesaling down. I understand the hard money lender, how that works out. Let me start wholesaling. So whenever I would go to Zillow and look up the prices, I would call my coach at the time. Hey, coach, I'm over here trying to run comps, but Zillow's not telling me the prices. What's going on? Like, George, where are you at? Like, Texas. Texas non-disclosure. Like, what does that mean? It's like, oh, that means either you have to be an agent or you have to network. I was like, oh man, that means I got to talk to people. And that's when I learned to like network more and like kind of reach out to the Facebook groups where it's like, where you from? Houston real estate groups, and just adding all those people. And somehow I was added to JJ's thing. And that's when I kind of took some notes. Back then he had very little videos, but I would take the notes of how to network, how to, if you're gonna post something with either an image or a GIF, and don't use the like button. Actually interact with the people that are in there. And that's how I slowly got to join a team at the time, and was put in the lead manager role and kind of getting that confidence. So when other than your question, I think the whole sub two community and other people believing in me, like other people like Yuver Sanudo, he has a real strong Cuban accent. Like, George, I think you're a closer. I like, I am. Yes, you're a good. They're like, okay, but it's people like that and telling me the only way you're gonna get is getting on the phones, and so it is being practicing to where, yeah. Among other people, there are a lot of people that I need to thank.
What best advice, that's been given to you?
Other than just call, get on the phone and just go through the
Pick up that
reps,
phone,
get to learn,
George. Yeah.
get on that phone, learn how to overcome those objections, because it is like fighting. Like, I think I can
Yeah.
share this story where it is using my humor, using I don't take myself too seriously. I think a famous objection I like to overcome is, do you see a sign in front of my door? I'm like, well, sir, I'm actually legally blind. And I'm using a braille keyboard, so even if I could see, I probably wouldn't see that sign either. But are you still interested in selling? So that kind of showed you where, you're not supposed to let these people push you around. You're just calling to see if they're interested in selling. I do understand that 3 to 4 calls every day, but where I see just seeing if you're interested, all you have to say you're not interested. And I can't promise you the other person gonna stop calling you. That's B. B's more gangster than me. B may be calling you, but I'm gonna take you off of my list, and you have a great day. But just before I let you go, are you interested in buying any properties? And so learning how to, just have those conversations. And I think that helped out, just calling more. And yeah, it's just meeting more people and figuring out where they need help at. but being more productive with the conversations.
Yes. What are some of the biggest challenges? I know you mentioned earlier is when asking for help, but what has that looked like for you?
Just having knowing that people actually want to help you, knowing that there are people that may be strong at what you're weak at, and then you may be strong at something they're weak at, but because you guys have such a great chemistry, you guys have the similar vision, you can complement each other to get to that place where I like to compare that to finding your husband, your husband's version, but on the business side. And for me, my wife, she is very strong. She is very I would say mean, and I'm the soft one. And so those two come in place where if I'm at the grocery store and you're at the register, hey, how you doing, B? How's your day going? And you're just my wife will be like, ma'am, my husband said, how's your day going? Hey, let her go, let her go. She's having a bad day. But vice versa, we complement each other, and but yeah, just utilize seeing who can help you out get to where you want to get to, and kind of looking at this whole journey as a team sport.
Have you faced any other challenges? Like, this is something that perhaps I should work
I would say learning to say no. I
on.
want to help everybody, and when everybody comes in, they got the what the pace calls it that the ask call. They want to pick your brain, and then like George, I want to know how to underwrite. All right, cool. What are we underwriting? I don't have a deal. Like bro, like get a deal first, or A, B can write a Morby method deal. Like, okay, where's it at? But not, letting them go, not to be rude, because unfortunately there are certain people at higher levels that they may not have the time. So I feel bad because I know how it was when you started and you don't know who to go for. But then there are people that do take advantage of you, unfortunately, and they kind of kill your time. To like, bro, I need to get back to calling because this is not. We're not getting anywhere on this.
Yes. Oh man, let me wipe my tears real quick. Hold on, cause oh man, you got some good ones, George. Let's see. All right. So why do you think it's important for you to go through the struggles that you do on this journey?
I think because at the end of the day, being a strong believer in my faith, knowing that our destiny was already planned out ever since we were being made, and in the womb, and knowing that we have to go through certain things in order to get where we want to get to. And obviously, we're hard headed sometimes, where God has the path right here on the left side, but we want to go right, and it's just life. I think growing up. Hey, B, don't drink and drive. Don't drink and no, mom, I got it. Until you see the blue and red lights behind you, like, oh man, I should listen to my mom, or don't touch that stove. Don't touch that stove. And you have to go through those things to get to where you need to get to. And I think that's just life.
Yeah. I like that. You're able to paint that story too for others. So like overcoming
Uh,
those challenges when you're told, "Hey, you don't do this, don't do that, or you can't do this." How are you able to overcome it?
I would say, I guess having the confidence of saying why. Why can't I
Okay.
do that? Why do you think? Because that is tough when we first joined or when I started. Oh, George, we need to practice role playing. I don't need a role play. I'm good. I know what I'm doing. In reality, I didn't. And so it's being able to receive that criticism, but also knowing that, if B's telling me something, George, why are you doing TC work? You're not a TC. You need to hire me. And I know
I
it's not really
say it.
for
I
the
keep
money
saying
part.
I'm gonna say it again. You need to hire me.
Yeah, but being able and say being able to listen, hey God, Can you give me can you give me $1,000,000? And like, bro, I'm not gonna give you $1,000,000, but I'm gonna send people like B, send people like Uber to help you get to those $1,000,000. So it is being able to be receptive and not be so prideful and knowing that you have to release and just say get it back, create that reciprocal relationship.
Yes. Oh, I love it. I love it. So, for someone listening who doesn't have, a mentor or any type of guidance, like what is one thing that you would say to kind of help them find that direction?
Depending on obviously if they're trying to do what we're doing, I would say try to have a clear vision. Where are you at? Do you have a job? If you have a job, it is understanding. If you really want to do this, it's going to be hard because at a job, you have everything structured. You have to wake up at 8 o'clock. You have to be at work at 10 o'clock. And then you have to do certain things in order to get paid, to where if you're doing this, you have to be your own boss and wake up at 6 and be on the dialer at 8 and do certain things to where you have that freedom of time where like, I'll make calls in 2 hours. 2 hours later, I'll make calls in 2 more hours, and boom, there goes your day. But then at the end of the month, if that accumulates, you're like, "Hey, George, the mortgage is owed. Crap, what I do?" And so I guess to answer your question, really figure out what is your vision, and then obviously being around people like myself to where I don't mind kind of sharing if if you notice somebody like Andrew, who's at a very high level, he has a job, he actually owns properties, and he's able to give his time out. So I know he is very disciplined with his time compared to me. Like, oh man, I'll talk to B all day because I love having conversations like this, but eventually I got to get to work. But because I actually enjoy it, but I know at the end of the day, oh man, I got to get paid too. I got to get on my calls, and so it is. You really want to do it, and if you're gonna do it, do you have a actual goal? Like, if you earn so much at your job, do you have like 6 months of, of income? What does that look like to be able to take that chance? Because it's either you gotta be all or in. But obviously, somebody like Andrew it's a, got a 50% chance of you having that mindset to where I don't think I could have done it doing both. I had to go through what I had to go through in order to be where I'm at right now.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm the same way. Well, I mean, I kind of do it all, right? Because I'm also like taking care of
Super
baby and
mom.
homeschooling. Yeah. So, yes. So I completely understand that. And, you know, with everything that you're doing, you're connecting on so many levels with so many people. How have those relationships played a role to where you are right now? How has that played in where you're at today?
Networking has played a real pivotal role to where it kind of matches, like you're saying, my personality to where I have that welcoming energy and also the smile and my willingness to want to help somebody. And after Squad Out Summit, I was like, wow, I don't think I can do 5 days out here because it is repeatedly, "Hi, B, how you doing? My name is George. This is what I do." "Oh, wow, B, I never met you in person." Wow, and like doing that over and over. Now I kind of see when I did actually have a moment where I was waiting on my food and like, oh wow, nobody's talking to me.
Oh,
But it is because it is an exchange of energy at the end of the day. But it's being able, man, I love, getting to know B. Like, wow, how many kids do you have? How was, I can never be in your position, so I can imagine what things you're going through, and just being actually curious. And so, as far as the question, yeah, networking is knowing you never know who you're gonna meet. That's gonna help you get to the next level. And if I could share a story, I think during the Squad Up Summit, I was out there till like 5 in the morning every night because it was networking and obviously a little bit of drinking. But I ran into somebody that he was going through a tough time. And I don't know how we got on the subject about God to where he started crying and like I felt it too. Wow, George, nobody's ever talked to me that way. And like, well, man, God works in mysterious ways. I wasn't gonna come to Dallas, but I came here, and so he just happens to be a flipper in Dallas, and so now we connect on that level where we're sharing, Bible stories, and his wife actually the next day, George, hey, I forgot the wife's name. This is George, the guy telling you about last night, and I was like, how you doing, man? But you never know how you can affect somebody. So I think that's really the joy I get out of networking and be able to help somebody. And where I'm at currently, I can probably help somebody that's below me and help pick them up if they really want it. But then again, it goes back to like, do I have enough bandwidth to help everybody? And I hate that I can't do that, but I also know not everybody's willing to do what they need to do to get to where they need to be.
so setting boundaries, though, that's something to also keep account, right? Setting boundaries for yourself. Because, like you said, it's just an expert of energy that we're putting out there. And that's really
Sure.
what's helping us accelerate our business is that energy and making those connections, connecting with those people on a different level. And so, what's your approach in building long term relationships in real estate?
That is a good question because obviously you only have so much bandwidth to be able to share the energy with other people. So with mine is, I guess I'm able to connect to certain people on the I guess on a spiritual level, to where like every Sunday I notice is a, it's a long list now. I would think I send like 200 people like just a random Bible verse because I usually listen to Joel Osteen on and so during the prayer time I go to Google, what is a good Bible verse for encouragement, and I pull that up like, and I like that one, and then I do that one at a time, one at a time, one at a time, and so
Yes, wow. So whoever's on that list, you got VIP seating for George's cell phone. All right. Wow.
you do, you do. But what I like about that beat, I don't, not that I look for that one or two people. George, how did you know I was going through something and that verse hit right on the spotlight? I don't know. I googled it. It's like a slot machine. But I do get a joy out of like, wow, you really helped me. So it's not really ego thing. It's more like, wow, this is worth it. So it does
Yes.
go back to how many people can I help, but also it does go back. Am I helping myself? Am I really doing God's work in a certain extent?
So, for someone just starting out and who doesn't have any connections, what's the best way to build a network?
Go out network. Go out networking. Don't take yourself too seriously. Just go out and network. Actually make it about the other person. Figure out what they're doing, and then hopefully at that point you kind of have a target of what you're trying to do, and hopefully you've met those people to where during the week it is either if you can meet them in person, obviously it's better. But the beauty of technology is being able to hop on a quick 30-minute call and kind of having that conversation, with setting those. What is the point of this conversation? It, I guess, kind of has that blueprint of who are you, what you need help with, and do you mind if I get paid to where, hey, B, I'm trying to get into, I want to be a TC like you. How can I do it? Well, I got some work for you to do. I just can't pay you. Are you willing to do these things? Or as a cold caller, hey, I do have a dialer. I do have a couple slots available. Would you be open to helping me generate some leads? Because and that way I can help you along the process. Unless unless you want to go ahead and and I think that's one of my, I think, what they call it, passion projects, to potentially have that one on one with certain individuals. But see, make sure that again, my foundation is fed. I'm able to do those 2 or 3 deals a month from my own system. Possibly have a JV pipeline as well, to where everything's kind of situated to where, oh man, B, let me help you. I think I can help you get to where you want to get to, but it's going to require us to have more on one sessions, and I want to charge you X amount. What do you think? And so, with that said, I think I'm not really doing it for the money because I'm only charging you a fraction of what I could get inside my own system. It's more like I think I want to help you, but it's going to require me to step away from my system or my team. But my goal is to help you get to where you want to get to, and hopefully after those 10 weeks, if you feel like we need more time and you got your value, we can go for another setup to where, I guess my ultimate thing is trying to be that like that same story, or that pays more, not pays more because more real estate, but more like mindset. Because at the end of the day, I think we have to cure our little Georgie. We have to cure our little bees. We obviously have our own version of traumas that are not allowing us to pull out that inner light that we have inside because we're holding on to certain things. And so that is something that I tell people: make sure you know what you want to do, and if you need help, reach out. Just have a conversations. Be able to be vulnerable enough to share those things to where you may cry, but as you repeat it, you get stronger. You're healing yourself because the power of forgiveness is so beautiful to where you're not really forgiving that person for the action, but you're forgiving yourself for holding on to that and letting that situation hold on to you and not let you be the great version of yourself.
Yes, that's deep. That's real good.
That's it.
Man, that's good. That's deep. If you were starting over today, would you do anything differently?
Honestly, no, because I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. If anything, I would say, George, quit throwing money at the business. Take your own advice and join a team. Start at the bottom. Get those skills. Because you can't buy a business, you have to be it, you have to learn it from the inside, and if somebody's doing that thing that you wanna do, see how you can, either work for them or see how you can leverage, be creative, creative financing. I don't have time, but you have a dialer. Can I go in there and make calls for you? Or hey, B, I want to be a TC. What can I do? Can I run this web form for you? Can I filter out some things for you? I don't know. And just having those conversations.
What's a daily habit that's made a big difference for you that helped you in your goals today?
Man,
I know I'm gonna swing at you.
this one, that's a good one. Well, I used to be working out with my little pull up thing and my push ups, but I've been kind of slacking on there because, like I said, the deals have been kind of up and down. But I guess just to be positive and be persistent and just check on people and obviously try to put in that time in the dialer to where now I guess at my level, I don't really, it doesn't affect me like it used to be. But obviously, I can't do it for 6 to 8 hours, but I can go in there. And when somebody says they're not interested, oh, cool, no problem. Boom, I'll put you in this column, but be able to learn how to squeeze the juice out of the lemon. Just curious, would you be interested in possibly being my buyer? And just going through the rotations of not interested or F me. Okay, when my wife gets home, I'll ask her about that part, sir. But in the meantime, you have a good day. Then yeah, stuff like that. Just being consistent of trying to see where actually like thanks to my integrator lately, now I'm able to kind of structure my day where are there any offers I need to give out? Are these leads already underwritten? And can I do that? And then as I'm slowly building a team around me and it is checking on them and kind of being that support where, hey guys, are we cold calling? Are we lead managing? Is there anything you need my help with? And kind of being that helper, which is another avatar that I like to hold close to.
Wow. That's good. I love how lighthearted you are when it comes to like those moments of you're making those calls and they may say something really mean or really offensive and you're just like, I love that. That's really good. That's the way to do it.
It's just projecting anger to where if I
Yes.
tell, man, B, you're so beautiful, you're this. And then you may tell your husband, hey, baby, you're looking hot over there compared to, B, I hate you, this and that. Look, babe, I hate you. And so that the
Yeah.
energy travels. But it is hard. It goes back to being, you're draining. But for some
Yeah.
reason, I'm able to recharge my next day and just, be thankful for another day. Whose life can I affect? Hopefully encourage.
It's a lot of self building that you have to do in order to carry yourself like that. And that's huge. That's important that you can't go into this thinking that it's just going to be all sunshine and rainbows. Like there is work that you got to put in. There's a lot of work that you got to
So
put in. So that's really good. So, say we have listeners out there who are just like, where do I begin? Like, how do I even just get up and go and make that phone call? Or how do I get up and go and network? Where do they begin?
good question. I would say obviously everybody's on Facebook, everybody's on Instagram. It would be to, just find your local, either your RIA or a networking event and kind of just feel the crowd out. Obviously ask the right questions and just go from there, create those relationships. And obviously if you're able to meet somebody named JJ, how's this networking event looking like? And then being
Hmm.
able to take advantage of the volume of people has on there. I finally got to make it. So that was kind of like a 360 B to where, wow, I remember I learned how to network from JJ. Now I'm doing a podcast about networking. So it is known that you can do it too. Just, obviously, just take that action. Just like, how do I get good on the calls? Pick up the phone, get that rejection. Like, man, that hurt. Okay, what are you going to do next? Go get Noah. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
And then the more that you do it, it's practice. So it's you're consistently building yourself up each and every time. Don't take it as you're hurting yourself or that they're hurting you. If anything, you're building yourself up. It's those reps. You're building that muscle. You may be sore, but you're going to definitely build it up that muscle. The next thing you know, you're going to be lifting a lot more weight than you first did.
And then your wife got to look out, or your husband, like, hey, baby, you put my clothes on. Turn off all my
That's too
goodies.
funny.
Yeah.
Man. So you're grinding it out, you're building a team, you're networking, you're connecting, and you're helping people. tell people how can they reach out and start networking with you. Like you said, you got some bandwidth, right? But how can they reach out to you and see just what you're doing and just be a part of that?
Facebook, I'm basically George Paredes. Even though I should have put my whole name on there, but yeah, George Paredes. On Instagram, it's Mr. Dot Buy Your Home with a 3 instead of a E at the end. You can find me on there.
There you go. Thank you so much, George. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for joining. And everyone, if you haven't connected with this guy, or at least go give him a follow, he is doing some major things and show him some love. He is always there to help everyone out. George, thank you again for coming on. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the next one.
Thank you. Bye bye, guys.